The housing officials were not looking for a body. They were there to collect unpaid rent. And what they found instead, nobody was prepared for. A team of housing officials in London were given a routine job. A tenant hadn't paid rent in months. They had to go to the apartment and serve the notice. They knocked again. Nobody responded. Eventually, they forced their way inside the apartment, and they found something that would haunt every single one of them for the rest of their lives. The television was on, heat was running, and in the middle of the room was what seemed to be remains of a woman. She had been there for over 8 years in a city of 8 million people, and not one person had come looking for her. Joyce Carol Vincent was born in London, 1965. She was described by everyone who knew her as magnetic and sharp. She worked at Ernst & Young, one of the most prestigious firms in the world. By all accounts, she was beautiful, beloved, and the last person in the world anyone would have expected to die alone. In 2001, Joyce quietly quits her job. No explanation. Her colleagues would later fill in the gaps themselves. Maybe she was traveling. Around the same time, she moves into a shelter for survivors of domestic abuse. She never notified her family nor friends about her last move. Nobody knew where she was. Her family had even hired a private investigator to find her. He soon could not find any clues leading to her. Soon afterwards, her sister had to make painful assumption. Maybe she didn't want to be found, so they stopped looking for her. She had 4 sisters, ex-boyfriend who genuinely loved her, colleagues who still talk about her smile years later. But she had built walls so high, so quietly, that when she finally needed someone to reach through them, there was no one left who knew where she was. In November 2003, just weeks before she died, she was hospitalized for vomiting blood, a peptic ulcer. She was discharged after a few days later. And sometimes in November 2003, Joyce Vincent passed away. When housing officials finally opened her door in January 2006, they found her skeleton remains in the living room floor, surrounded by half-wrapped Christmas presents and stacks of mail dating back years. The television was still on, tuned to BBC. It was flickering light, filling the silent room. She could only be identified through dental records. Turns out her rent had been automatically paid, no housing benefit for months after her death. That's why the system never flagged that anything was wrong. The neighbors had noticed weird smell, but later assumed it was trash bins. 2 years, a month, and however many days. That's how long Joyce lay there before one remembered she even existed.